Noda, very short.
Marquez do from another front row on the Repsol Honda. Keep a close eye on the fast starting KTMs of Jack Miller. He's fourth on the grid, and Brad Binder coming from 10th. It is the hottest conditions of the weekend so far. As just mentioned, 9th on the grid. Quartararo 13th. I've got to say the French boys have really struggled in this new format, haven't they? Just 1 point. Taxi for the first time here in Le Mans. Pecco Bagnaia got a superb launch from that pole position, and look at Jack Miller flying already on the factory KTM. Marquez getting slowed up here on the outside. He is of Jorge Martin, but Miller immediately up into
16th.
Did not get the start he wanted, and then when you mired further down the pack in that concertina effect into the Dunlop chicane, he got picked off. He might get picked off here by Rins as well as they attack on the brakes for the first time into the Shimano VRFSs. We have to drop a long...
Portimao, they're in our leading group. It's a leading group of 6 at the moment, with Marini and Binder just at the tail of this group.
Big winner on the first lap was Binder. And that's Miller.
Yes,
that's Miller who's gone. I was just about to say Brad Binder was one of the big winners on the first lap, but it's his teammate Jack Miller who was...
Tips it into the museum corner, which is a very, very easy corner to make that kind of mistake on. Miller slides out of 3rd place. His teammate now
has dragged Marquez right onto the rear tyre of the Spaniard rider in 2nd place. That's Martin. Don't discount Marini as well. There's a clear break here. Those top 5 guys have pulled a second, well, 2.5 seconds clear they are now, of Alex Marquez, who's leading the train in the second.
Straight through on Marquez. Marquez is going to brave it out around the outside though.
Yeah, those two toughed it out. Here comes Martin. This time round, and he was close enough. He'll just slam the door shut. Right, he'll drop that Prima Comet Ducati right in front of Pecco Bagnaia. Can Bagnaia return?
Shot into garage there.
This is what we wanted to see in the sprint action this year. No worries about tyre conservation, no worries about fuel management, just the best in the world going hammer and tongs at it. Marquez is just too sharp, too razor sharp on the front end of that Honda. Marquez runs wide, dropping down through La Chapelle. Binder then comes out of the right side of all that melee into the Dunlop chicane. He is now in 2nd place. This is playing right into the hands of Martin at the front of this sprint, isn't it? Because he's out of bother, he's out of trouble, he can just run his line. Placed 2nd in the standings, but that could change because Marc Marquez so close. How close is that between Marquez and Bagnaia? The top 2 men on the grid as they come through, record them on to tick off lap 5.
It was a crucial break, wasn't it, made by Martin. Half distance yet.
Not very often you see Pecco Bagnaia at the front start hemorrhaging places very quickly. It's Augusto Fernandez who was in Q2 for the first time in his MotoGP career. Aleix Espargaro and Marco Bezzecchi fancy this as well. They're smelling the podium. Bezzecchi's out really wide. He's on the curve going into the Dunlop chicane. That's not going to work out, is he? Although he hammers the front door shut in front of Aleix Espargaro. They're side by side over the 4th gear crest by Bezzecchi so far, but he is not guaranteed to hold on to that 7th place. In fact, he's been picked off already by Zarco.
The battle's still raging further back. The big loser amongst all that was Alex Marquez, who's slipping all the way down. I think he might have gone down through the Shimano berth because he's outside of things
now on that factory Honda, because you don't normally see him that wide, do you, coming through the museum corner here in Le Mans. The big battle that was raging further down the field between the likes of Zarco, Bezzecchi, Quartararo, Marquez and Aleix Espargaro, and that got so intense that they're starting to lose.
And get an update on where he is. I think I can see him just in the back of the picture. We'll try and find him, but he has not crashed out of this sprint. Last time around though, once again, Martin a 10th quicker than Binder behind him.
Yeah, Marquez obviously ran off. He was in the 140s on that last lap. He lost about 7 or 8. We'll find out who we've lost. Looks like it's somebody a bit further down the field. Clean on the front runners. There's Binder sweeping through your picture in 2nd place. Yeah, it's Jonas Folger. Unfortunately, it's not been a happy home sprint for Tech 3 then. They've lost Augusto Fernandez. That's exactly 2 seconds clear of Binder through the 2nd split on this lap 10 of 13.
We're riding on board with the home favourite. Oh, he's going down! On cue, Quartararo down.
Oh, well, it's been another Quartararo catastrophe, hasn't it, from the man who started this sprint on the front row in 3rd.
Marquez fading in these closing stages of the sprint. He did a 1:32.4 last time around. Bagnaia, who did his personal best, was 8/10 of a second quicker. Marquez was slower than every rider behind him, all the way back to Alex Bagnaia. Then it's Marini and Marquez. They are starting to fall into the clutches of Zarco in 6th. You can see that group behind them starting to close together. That could soon be a 4-way battle. The 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th with Marco Bezzecchi.
Is some of the best we see in the field, but it's just coming too little too late once again for the 32-year-old.
I'd love to hear from Bagnaia at the end of this, because he's now coming back at Binder again.
And you're behind him as they go into the Dunlop chicane for the final time. Last lap here then in this Tissot sprint, which is going the way of Jorge Martin as it stands right now, on course for his first sprint success of 2023. Zarco's gone wide. Zarco, what a real rock solid job here late on here in Le Mans. This is the battle for fourth place. Out of your picture though, Jorge Martin has been in cruise control. He bided his Maverick Vinales.
Yeah, another poor sprint for the Aprilias, you have to say, because they were battling each other early on in that sprint. 8th and 9th for them. Taka Nakagami, he came across line in 10th ahead of his teammate Alex Rins. Babaji Gian Antonio, he got 12th.
This was the move. Look at that. Well, we say when push comes to shove, that was some pushing and some shoving, wasn't it, into the Dunlop chicane.